of January. We're about to wrap up this month. We're in the hard early energies of Aquarius. And today I've got a special for you. It's called To the Nines. We're talking about what you're about to take action on in the next 24 hours. Side. If you're watching us, if you're watching us on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sirius Joy TV. Please click like on this video, and if you don't mind, hit the bell button so you're notified so we collectively defeat the algorithm overlords. The Sirius Joy Nonlinear TV network is simulcasting right now on many media affiliates, including Instagram, X.com, and Facebook, just to name a few.
Aloha! I'm Mary, and I'm inviting you to experience the mystical world of the tarot with me. As a tree-hugging dirt worshiper, a retired wildlife biologist, and a sprite of the forest, my readings take you into the realms of elemental creativity to unearth a deeper awareness for those big decisions that you have in life. The first 50 viewers to email me with the coupon code below and book a reading will receive 50% off that reading. Can't wait to see what the cards have in store for you. Mahalo nui loa.
At Hair Intelligence, we believe that every strand of hair has its own voice and needs. By combining ancient wisdom with modern biochemistry, we create pure, organic solutions that work in harmony with your hair's natural biology for optimal hair health naturally. By choosing simplicity, sustainability, and science-backed natural solutions, we help our clients transform their hair, whether it's repair, regrowth, or simply radiant, healthy manes they seek.
All of her products have completely changed my hair. I like to call it magic in a bottle. So if there's one thing that she knows, it's hair.
Before using Karen's products a few years ago, I struggled with various hair challenges, including alopecia, and now I've overcome them and I've just fallen back in love with my hair.
Get your best hair with clean, organic products that are catered to your hair's unique health and longevity. Get 20% off your first purchase at Hair Intelligence by entering code SiriusJoy20 at checkout. Rediscover your hair's true potential.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Sirius Joy Alive. We're so happy to be here, and we're getting down to the finessing of this show. You know, we do a lot with a small staff, and we thank you for your patience, but we're going to get this thing rolling real quickly. Capricorn, I have to say, whew, you know, in Aftermath, I have to say Capricorn was one of the most difficult Capricorn seasons I've ever lived. And this is way after Pluto had left the sign, right? Yeah, this woman's giving me a hug here. See this? It's a wonderful thing. And overall, we have found that we had to re-engineer so much of our operations. I had to re-engineer my own personal daily life. It's almost like it took almost a couple of years to process what's necessary when it comes to how to live the right life. And then we realized we had to kind of build it from the ground up. I'm telling you that because I think that that is going to be what everyone has to do as we move into Aquarius here. We are in Aquarius. We are in the inner part of our own Aquarius energy. We're in the part of Aquarius energy that deals with whether or not we belong with ourselves. Today, we're at step 8. And today is time to decide what side are you on. And we actually have gone into step 9 already, but the ruling step number is always the step number you wake up to. It's the only step number you're responsible for is the one you wake up to. And we are responsible for step 8, which is to decide if you are on your side. Okay. Now that means something for people differently in different ways, right? You know, for me being on my side, my list of things to do to be on my side is to sort of like speak up when I feel I'm being taken advantage of. It's, you know, to be on my side has to actually leave the conversation early and risk being not liked or, you know, frowned upon. Like everyone wants to spend time and hang out, but quite often I end up being late to the next thing. So I've got to do that. We'll go a little more dynamic here. This is better. And energetically, how to be on my side, inside myself with a vibration. Like, what side do I need to be on? It's sort of like being committed to ourself in a way that only we know, like a silent actor, an actor on stage, or an actor or actress in a film. It's like only you know what it feels like, only you know how to adjust it. And we're making these final adjustments for you being committed to a posture, really, with ourself inside. From that point on, between now and tomorrow, and you don't have to start this till tomorrow, so I don't recommend getting a start on it, but you can start thinking about it now and processing it. We move to step 9. And step 9 is to act and put that into motion. Now, the 9s this is a tough year of the 9s. First of all, this is a year 10, all right? 2026 adds to a 10. It's a net 10 year. That means it's a year we will love and hold space for us to come into our new selves and to come into our new world. Everything that we see across all the mystics is saying the same thing, that 2027 is the big year. 2026 is the holding year for it all to come together. And 2027 is the year when everything starts to actually happen. So 2027 is going to be an 11. So that's going to be when we become the new worth. We become the new 5D. We become the new version of ourselves. And I don't know if it's full spectrum 5D, by the way, but I know that this year 5D rolls out. We roll out 5D this year. Is available to those who are ready, basically. And I have the exact date of that, which we give out in the countdown, by the way. So that said, because this is a 10 year, the 9 days are tough, because on the 9 days, you've got to really do everything you learned last year, in the 9s, everything you learned last year, and do it perfectly and perform it well. And there's only 3 9s every season. So you have step 9, you have step 18, which adds to a 9, and you have step 27, which adds to a 9. Okay, so the 9 is the ego. And so you could say that we this year are practicing the use of our ego. We're putting our new WeGo into motion. This is a brand new WeGo that we developed last year in the 9 year. Because in 9 year, we developed a new ego. And this practice of the 9, only has 12 chances at it, basically. And as we go through the year, it gets more intense because we get closer and closer to the launch date of 5D. Now, when it comes to all these launch dates, I have a new system of analyzing important dates in astrology called the way dates. That stands for the Witecki algorithm investment. And that is ultimately an algorithm that I've come up with on my own that's private, but I still give the results. And this algorithm is not really meant to go public, because when I mean public, I mean those who don't go through the instruction, because it's very, very sensitive as far as the information is concerned. How I go about it is very sensitive. And also, I don't want people ever doing it and doing it wrong. I would hate to have someone, say that they've corrected a way date. It's like, and it'd be like, no, you may not know the algorithm and how it goes, because I triple check these things. So I keep these in these seminars. So if you want to know about the way dates and what they are, you will have to purchase the calendar that we have out for sale at Sirius Joy. What is it? Right at that New Year's.guru. And you have to, or you can get the class that we taught, which was a webinar, or you can actually get the countdown 2026, and you'll see some of the way date stuff there. I do go into all the way dates, and I talk about specifically in the webinar that we had, which is the Sunday webinar that came after 2026. That said, these way dates, I was just talking to a client today, a diamond client, about, we started to play the way dates in his chart, and it's amazing. He was telling me, because he's a person, and we'll talk about our diamond program maybe a little bit later, but this is a person who, a diamond project is one where you intend to change the earth. You intend to make a difference on the earth. You want to make the world a better place, basically. And so I help them and develop this moment in their lives. And I was blown away that this person's natural rollout for their products this year and what they're doing was completely in alignment with the way dates already. It's like, wow. So I want to help you in this show to really exercise a bit more. It's like, where the other shows that we do at Sirius Joy are really teaching tools. These are discussion tools. These are labs. This is a recess. This is fun. This is where we get together and we just sort of tune in every day. This is where we recharge our batteries. This is where we prep each other for the next day and get ourselves ready for the next day. And that's what I'm about to do. I'm going to do a to the 9 segment today, talking about the 9s, because 9s are important that we get them right this year. And it's very important that we get them right until about until 9 itself, which is going to be Aries. So until Aries, we have until Aries to practice our 9s, and then we are, really out of time to be able to get it down right. So you want to get that golf swing down correctly. Now, that said, let's actually get something a little bit calmer here. It's driving me crazy. Here we go. Let's do our nice little cloud base. There we go. So when it comes to the 9s, first of all, 9 is the I act, I am state of awareness. It is action. It is ego. It's when we do things, when we put things into motion. It is a necessary step. And if you'll notice, it's the 9th step. In other words, human beings are naturally programmed to take action after doing 8 different steps beforehand. 8. Really 9 if you count 0. But you can't count 0 because 0 is 0. But really 8 steps prior to before you ever take an action. So this is why we have to be very careful about reactions, because when we react to something, we usually don't give ourselves the time to do 8 steps, or at least make sure they're in place. We tend to react compulsively, impulsively. We act according to our history, according to our abuse. Because the ego is tied to our damage and the ego is tied to all of our traumas, we tend to act out and we act in. To act out is to put it on someone else's shoulders. To act in is to blame yourself and hurt yourself. And it's the acting in, which is a term that I give to Gwen English, by the way. She gets to own that term. That was a great, brilliant term she came up with. To act in is to treat yourself poorly. And this is where most light workers are. Most light workers, when I do a reading for you in a private one-on-one, and we get deep, I can see into past lives now. And I will see that in your past life, oh yeah, you were hard on other people. You were mean to other people. You took advantage. I mean, a lot of people who are nice now were not nice to last life, honestly. So it's like, none of us can be bragging here. All right. But many of us, sure, you stop beating up your neighbor or your partner or your kids or, whatever you were doing, taking out on animals. Sure, you're not taking it out on other beings, but you're still taking it out on yourself. So you don't pass. You don't pass if you take it out on yourself also. If you beat yourself up, you don't get a pass. You don't get an ascension pass. You don't get to go to the next level. And why is that? Because when we're mean to ourselves, we lower our vibration. We become heavy. We become sick. You can't go into the higher vibration with a heavy heart. You'll get sick and die. Literally. So people have got to let go of this stuff. And part of it is to respond differently to yourself, to respond to the environment differently, to respond to yourself first and then the environment. Remember the oxygen mask on you and then the environment, and to respond with compassion. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this 9 segment today, because currently the North Node in Pisces is at step 9 Pisces. And that's basically the universe saying, hey, every response to yourself must be compassionate, must be caring. Now, compassion, in my opinion, this is another Gwen English, she getting a lot of sound bites today. Compassion really is our ability to take the energy of God and apply it to ourselves. The energy of God is unconditional love without judgment. Unconditional love without judgment. There's no judgment. Everyone gets fed 100%. Spirit doesn't even want to hear what you feel bad about. And honestly, when we get to the company of heaven, they don't care. It does not matter to them. It was all an exercise. It was all an experiment to see if you could grow. If you don't, fine. There's no expectation. The expectation is all put on by ourselves here on this planet. So every response to ourselves, while the North Node's at step 9 Pisces, must be compassionate, which means we must respond to ourselves with unconditional love and unconditional patience, and just total patience forever. I'll wait forever. I'm not going to push myself to go too fast. And also acceptance. I accept myself for being wounded or late or damaged, or I accept myself. I must accept myself. I can't resist my own self. We don't want to use our own strength to push ourselves away from ourselves. That's weird. So in this moment, we must respond with compassion. So I challenge you, if you're watching, to try just tonight to practice responding to yourself with compassion. Anytime something happens inside yourself, respond to yourself with a different way that makes you feel loved and appreciated, makes you feel like you have patience, and all sorts of things. Like makes you feel like you are supported by yourself, right? From that response to yourself, you are now in a place to actually respond correctly to yourself. Now, responding correctly to yourself means that there is the best way to respond, and that's the way to get the best out of yourself, right? There's a way where you can inspire yourself. There's a way where you can humor yourself. There's a way where you can be yourself, and at the same time bring yourself to another level. A lot of times we just put ourselves down and we make ourselves feel bad, and that has led to nowhere. But you never maybe considered that not only do you make yourself feel bad, you could actually turn the ball around, make yourself feel really good, and make things wonderful, so to speak. I got to put it to. Okay, 1 second here, guys. Okay, there we go. So we're getting some noise outside the set there. Crazy noise. So I responded to myself compassionately. I took a moment. I took someone from. I just did it right in front of y'all. So that said, today through tomorrow, try and first of all give yourself a little bit of a pause before you respond to yourself. Once you have that pause, then ask yourself, what is the most loving, most incredible way that I can respond to myself, to encourage myself to go forward, to encourage myself to be better, to encourage myself to hold out longer, whatever the encouragement I need, what can I do differently? And we want to practice this. We want to practice this as many times as we can. And practice is what makes master. Now, there is a reason why we ultimately. That's just great. All right. Okay, that's weird. We have some weird stuff going on. The reason why I want to practice today in particular is because we're entering into a 9-day, which means it's now time to put into motion between now and tomorrow this new belonging with ourselves. And some of the belonging I've come up with this year is what I've already told you. I belong giving myself the benefit of the doubt. I belong being kind to myself. I belong being patient to myself. I belong being loving to myself. I belong not blaming myself, but you really ought to not use not. So I belong always give myself credit for where credit is due, and being accepting of the things that I have not been so, to my best yet. These are all things I belong doing. So I want to put these belongings into action in this next 24 hours. I want to make them happen. All right. Now, the reason why I want to make them happen is because right now, Chiron is at step 22 Aries. And step 22 Aries is a volatile degree. It is sort of the degree of whether or not you're going to become cool or an asshole. Okay. That character, that degree of Aries, 22 degrees Aries, is the degree where human consciousness programs the character you become, okay, or you sort of gravitate towards when things are thrown off. So if I, shocked you all of a sudden in public, and you were shocked, thrown off guard, you've got a default go-to of where you belong. Okay. I would say if you threw me off, I get really angry. Like I get really angry. Like this anger comes out of me, and there's a reason for it. This anger comes out, and it's really my repressed anger of my inner child being mad at all sorts of other things that I hadn't faced. And so I will sometimes blow up on a situation just automatically, autopilot. Aries is also my subconscious, so I think I'm also getting mad at, for things in past lives and things like that. So a lot of it's due to the fact that I have repressed anger. But that's true for everybody because this is Aries. So you too can become hot-headed on your autopilot, given your current setup and current wiring. And because it's 22 net 4, it's where you belong in the world. It's tied to how you belong with yourself. So what I'm getting at is how you belong with yourself is determined what you end up becoming to the world in a challenge situation. So in a challenge situation, you will become based on who you are to yourself and how you belong to yourself. This is how you end up becoming in the world and how your ego ends up becoming. And so each of the 12 signs in this determination of the 9 tomorrow, and actually today we're in the 9s already, you're basically pre-programming your automated response out in the world when shift hits the fan. Your automated response. We are reprogramming our automated response right now. And so I thought as a special treat, and I'm not going to do this all the time, but I will do this now because it's important. I want to go over for each of the 12 signs exactly where that's going to play out for you and where you can make that difference. All right. And so we'll go through all 12 signs that we normally do in the show, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do some readings. So by the way, this is a good time to plug the readings. If you would like a reading on camera today, whether that is a text camera, a text reading that I just read your text and I do my best, or a chart reading, or an in-person on-camera reading where you get to talk to me for 15 minutes, then come on down to SiriusJoy.shop. And you'll see very clearly what you can purchase and how it all works. I think this is going to be a feature that ends up becoming really big and popular over time. But I think people are starting to find us now. I think we're also starting at different times right now. We haven't stabilized the ship yet. But my point is, if you're watching now, get it now. If you don't know what your heart wants to know, then you're not in touch with your heart. I've never known me not to want to know something. My heart is always just like a kid. Dad, why is this guy blue? Dad, this, your inner child wants to know endless things. So if you don't know what question to ask, you're out of touch with your inner child. Spend some me time and some play time with yourself. So we will be doing readings here just after this little segment. And if you can still have time to buy a reading for today. So I hope I get to read you today. It'd be awesome. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, we have some weird stuff going on in the studio. Okay. It was a deep voice. I'll know that. All right. So let's go through the signs, and we'll start with the Aries if we can. There's our Aries sign. Now, Aries, you are the epitome of this. You are literally changing your character. And I have to give you credit because I think you have the biggest makeover of all of us. The reason why you do is because you are so fixed on who you are. You are very programmed from a very young age. I mean, an Aries baby will scream at the top of its lungs, and be mad at age 2. Like, you're like, well, that's an Aries baby, because that Aries, to express itself. So the Aries is true to who it is from day one. And it's not really designed to change. It's designed to push things and make change happen. And so this is a rare lifetime where we've said to Aries, hey, we need you to change completely this lifetime and dump the old ego for the new we go. All right. In your case, you have to be more loving to yourself when you're in public. Okay. Whenever you're in public, whenever you're outside and can be seen, whenever people can look at you and you can be observed, you must be more loving to yourself in that moment. That moment is the important moment. That's the moment that controls your reputation. Believe it or not. That's the moment that controls our judgment of you. So we will say that Aries is an a-hole or that Aries is a hero based on how you belong with yourself in the moment. In other words, Aries, you set yourself up for these situations by being mean to yourself, let's say. Maybe you force yourself to go out when you don't want to go out. Maybe you don't want to go out in public, but you've made yourself because you have this other part of you that will beat yourself up all night if you don't do it. And so all this mean stuff to yourself, you force yourself to go out there in the world, and you're not very loving to yourself. You make yourself go out there even though you don't feel good. Make yourself go out there even though these other circumstances are happening. And then suddenly, you get provoked. Something happens, doesn't go your way. Boom. Your character snaps off and you put out this fire, right? Fireworks, basically. And then the people around you are like, oh, I know what kind of Aries he is. An a-hole, right? So that's where it comes down to. If you practice the next 24 hours, responding to yourself when you're in public in a way that is the correct way, where you literally talk to yourself, whatever that is, you respond to yourself and you say to yourself, it's all right that we put ourselves out here. You know what? I'm going to actually let us go home early. Forget it. We're not going to do it anymore. We're going to tell everyone we quit. We're not doing it today because I know I shouldn't have brought you out here and I'm not going to make you stay out here. And so just by being compassionate to yourself and changing the way you do it, by responding differently to yourself while you're out there in public, you will, in fact, change the character you are becoming significantly. And we only have 2 more months to change. So we have Aquarius and we have Pisces. And then on step 9, which is the end of the 40 days of past lives and karma, by the way, on step 9, Aries, that is when you will have now completed this new inner self. All right. This new inner self will be sharp and clean. So we got 3 months to practice, three times, basically, is that step 9. All right. So Aries, be loving and sweet and amazing to yourself and be on your own team and be your own team player when you're in the public. And the best part of your character is going to come to the surface. I guarantee it. All right. Taurus. Not Tauruses. Taurus, it's interesting because you have to be on the right side of yourself when it comes to when you make decisions. And God, is this true for me? I'm so good at making a decision as far as quickness and like what's good for everyone else, but I'm so good at throwing myself under the bus in that decision. I will promise something that I just cannot do all the time to make other people happy. And this comes back to my childhood. I'm trying to make my family happy. My mom, I know why and how I got to this position, but for Tauruses, you have got to, before you tell yourself you're going to do something, decide to do it yourself, you got to stop for a second and evaluate, is this the most loving decision for myself? Is there a way to make this decision for myself a bit more loving? I'll give you an example. I'll be like, okay, we've got to do all of our taxes and all this stuff. Let's do it tonight. It's like, whoa, I'll just commit myself to some impossible task. And then I'll feel guilty if I don't do it, that whole game. And ultimately I'll find myself in real hot water. So you must, Taurus, respond to yourself first loving, compassionate, fair, honest, cool, and really compassionate in most cases to how you respond to yourself whenever you're going to make a decision for yourself. And when you do that, you're going to find that your faith changes. So Tauruses can very quickly have this bad feeling like they're unlucky in the universe, and that they're picked on by God, that this is a bad karma lifetime. You can go to the dark side really quickly in your faith if you make the poor decision, when you make a decision that's not in your highest good in the moment. So if you're not on your side when you make a decision, you're going to feel like the universe is not on your side in life. That's basically how to put it. All right. Gemini. Gemini, for you, you have a hard time being on your side when it comes to believing in yourself. And I know why this happens, because I have a Gemini son, Gemini child, who's a male child. And he's so smart. He will sit there and pick apart his belief in himself because he'll put it through proper analytics, and he'll start to think about different examples he has and things that people have said to him and all this other stuff. And so he will not believe in himself. He'll, at the very end, he will doubt himself, basically. I hope I'm not outing his son. Sorry, too late. But, he'll doubt himself in that last little mile, that last little moment, okay? And in that last little moment, I think it's to be considered to be a good reason. I think a lot of Geminis, they want to be considered to be intellectually sound. And they look at both sides of the evidence and all this other stuff. And so for that reason, you tend to weigh maybe more against you not believing in yourself than you do believing in yourself, right? Afraid of being the emperor with no clothes. So what your astrology says is when you don't believe in yourself, if you're not on your heart's side when it comes to believing in yourself, which means your heart does believe in you because it cannot not. When your heart believes in you and you take that side, then you'll find that your place in the world is corrected. In other words, people will see you for who you really are. When you are not on your side when it comes to believing in yourself, the world does not see the real you and they misjudge you. And so you become the world's enemy, or you become ignored by the world, or you become, judged by the world. And so your social network, your friends, everything, it all goes into the toilet because you were not by your heart's side when it came to believing in yourself. And so it is. All right. Cancers. Cancers, yours are a bit more difficult and challenging because when it comes to trusting yourself, you are not usually where you belong. You are not there for yourself. You're not with what your heart has to say. You're with what your mind has to say most of the time. And it's funny because, well, it's not funny, but it's true. Cancers have Virgo in the third house. So if Cancers think like a Virgo, that means they're critical, overly judgmental, perfectionist. Your mind is really hard on you. I think the real secret story of Cancer is that you're actually more damaged from your mind than you are from your feelings. Even though your real feelings, your feelings are hurt because of your mind. So what happens is that you end up not trusting yourself. When your heart does trust you, it's just your mind and other places are making you untrustworthy. And so as a result of not trusting you in that moment, the astrology says that your character in your career becomes soured. So you get a bad reputation in your career, inevitably. And as parents, which is huge because Cancers are almost always parents, you get a bad reputation in your career and parenting because you were not on your heart side when it came to trusting yourself. You took your mind side or your ego side or your mom side. So stay in your own side, and you'll find that you'll also stay in a legacy in your career where you come out as the hero, not as the one that caused the problem. All right, now into one of my favorites. Leos. Leos, you are an interesting breed here in this case because when it comes to being on your right side, you literally have a hard time staying on your own side. You have a hard time being loving to yourself. And that's because, unfortunately, you do use love as a weapon. You are the sign of love. Everyone who has a sign and has a superpower, Leo's superpower is love, everyone abuses their power. Every sign abuses their power when they want cheap, power back. And so Leos, you will abuse your power and you will not love yourself and you'll go cold on yourself. And you'll do that as a way of, I guess, discipline or a way of trying to get yourself to change. And so you're kind of mean and unloving to yourself and you go cold. You go cold fish, you go Aquarius on yourself. Now, what this does is this actually messes up with your whole life purpose. Because if you fail to be on your heart side when you approach yourself, you will not really believe in what you're telling the world. You won't have full belief. And then we'll think you're an imposter and it all goes downhill from there. So your legacy, what you teach us, what you leave as an educational note for the world, it's all undermined when you fail to be on your heart side with yourself. End of story. Virgos. Virgo, for you, it's a little different. Wait for the graphic to go. Virgo. There we go. Virgos. Virgo, for you, you fail to be actually, this is going to blow your mind. Okay, everyone sit down for this. This is crazy. Virgos actually fail to be on their heart side when it comes to their health. So when it comes to your health, you actually forget to be on your side. That means you get on the side of the virus, you get on the side of the disease, you get on the side of the poison, you get on the side of all these other things, the medical industry, you get on everyone's side, even the doctor's side, but not your side. You're not on your heart side. You have poor bedside manner with yourself when you're sick. This is why some of you are hypochondriacs and do end up manifesting illnesses by mistake, because you are healers by nature. So for a Virgo to manifest an illness is just a misuse of their magic wand. But what the planets say is like when you are not on your body side, and that's another one too. I've seen Virgos be so hard on themselves with their body. And it's like, man, the body just like hearing that. The body hears all that stuff, It's alive and it's you. And you know how you are when you get mad, right? So you must be loving and on your own side when it comes to your health. You must be on your own side versus the doctor. You must be on your own side versus the nurse. You have to be on your side when it comes to how you live in the moment. And what the astrology shows is if you fail to be on your side in the moment, then you will fail to be able to transform your life. You will not be able to make your life into what you want it to be if you're not on your body side and on a loving side of your body every day of the week. Give it a try. Libras. Libra, this is not going to be surprising whatsoever, but when it comes to being on the wrong side of things, wrong side of the tracks, when it comes to self-love, you are not very loving. You're not very loving with self-love. It's like, I wouldn't want that. I've seen Libras like give themselves the smallest treat. Like, here, I'm going to give myself a little extra cherry for today's great effort. It's like, that's how you love yourself. And I'm not putting you down. I'm saying, gosh, give yourself some credit. Give yourself some credit. Love yourself unconditionally. And so what this is you're going to hate this. You're going to hate this. But the reason why your relationships can go sour and you can get called all sorts of names and get blamed as the one who's the problem in the relationship during the divorce is because you were not on your own heart side when it came to your own inner self. You were not loving to yourself. You're not loving to your inner child. That's why, marriage number 7 didn't work, right? And so that's the case. All right. So be nice to yourself and love yourself. All right. Scorpios. Scorpio, yours is a different case in the sense that when it comes to your own feelings, you tend to not take a loving approach. You are not loving to your feelings. In fact, I often see you get mad at your own feelings, like stupid, you get mad at your feelings. You get mad that you're mad. And so it's bad enough the baby's already crying, you yell at it. It's like, stop, right? So when you learn to be loving to your feelings, you belong being loving to your own feelings all the time, and you're the most qualified to do the job right, then Spirit shows that you will have your lifestyle work out. Your entire lifestyle does not work out in your favor. You work too hard. Quite often, you're the one taken advantage of because you are being so unloving to your feelings in those quiet moments of yourself. So be more loving to yourself. And I think you'll find that your lifestyle really starts to bloom. All right. Next one. Sagittarius. Sag, you are not very loving to yourself when it comes to your thoughts to yourself. And I know I've seen you guys. I've looked in your eyes. I've seen how mean you are to yourself. I'm kind of telepathic. I can hear some of those thoughts. And it's almost like, in some cases, it's like Sages are, it's like you're being mean to yourself so that sort of balance because you're always nice to everyone else. So it's like you're kind of counterbalancing, like can't always be rainbows and unicorns, which it can, by the way. That's a false belief. And so you are not always on your heart side when it comes to the way you talk to yourself. Now, what does this do? This actually ruins love. So your love affairs, your creative projects, the things you're personally dreaming about, they fall apart when you are not nice to yourself in the inner dialogue, when you're not loving yourself with every word on the inner dialogue. And by the way, the inner dialogue is the one that no one hears. So isn't that the one you can hide anyways? Isn't that good? You have to tell everyone that you're thinking this way. You just do it. So if Sagittarius will respond nicely to themselves and lovingly, you'll find that you have true love come into your life that doesn't end. All right, moving on to the next one. Capricorns. Capricorns, for you, you have a hard time being on your heart's side when it comes to self-worth. You don't just love yourself and value yourself. You got to go prove it. The report card or this or that, or you just always got to generate this proof. And it's like, who are you trying to prove? Them or yourself? The answer is you're trying to prove yourself. And the only reason why you're trying to prove is because you don't love yourself from the get-go. Why does the child go crazy trying to prove something to their parents? They want to feel the parents' love. They feel like they're going to lose the parents' love if they don't do it. You're the same way. You basically put yourself down and you're hard on yourself because you want to be a better parent to yourself, but you're doing the hard way, not the correct way, which is more love. So the more you love your worthiness and the more you add to your worthiness, the more worthy you become. And what changes for you is very interesting. It has to do with, I'm going to blank out a second. It has to do with how you feel. So if you don't love yourself when it comes to self-worth, you will feel like you are poorly cared for. Your home and family will fall apart. Your emotional foundation will not be good. You will not recharge your batteries ever. Your home situation will basically decay if you don't honor and love yourself when it comes to self-worth. All right. That was all right. This time was right. Where are we at here? Was that Aquarius? Where are we at? Pisces, Capricorn, Pisces. Are we all over the map here? That was Capricorn I was just doing. So we would do Aquarius, right? And then Pisces. There we go. It's freaking me out here, man. All right, Aquarius. Aquarius, you are a person that has to be more loving in your response to yourself. Today's lesson. You must be more loving in your response to yourself. Step down, Aquarius, must be more loving in your response to yourself. I find you get catty. I find you get bitchy. I find you get kind of, I don't know, kind of judgy, I've noticed. And so you sort of reluctantly do it for yourself because you have to. You're kind of afraid of becoming the Leos. And so you just kind of go the other direction. But what happens according to the astrology is when you are not, loving to yourself and your responses to yourself, then you end up having a really bad attitude and you end up holding back your genius. So your genius gets dumbed down when you don't treat yourself nicely. It's true. Spank a child over and over, child's not going to be very smart. You're doing the same thing to yourself. So you have to be loving and giving and surrender to that need. All right. And then finally, but never lastly, the Pisces. Pisces, you must be on your heart side when it comes to faith. It's not very loving to let yourself sit there and freak out. It's not very loving to make yourself go watch horror movies all day when you're afraid of them. It's not very loving to assume the worst. That is not loving to assume the worst. That puts a person through hell to assume the worst, okay? So you're learning how to be loving when it comes to how you approach faith. The loving thing to do would be to go ahead and have the faith and see if it falls apart. It's not very loving to say, it might fall apart, so let's just school hard knocks. Let's just make us deal with it now. When there's a chance that we won't have to deal with it. So you must be loving when it comes to your faith in yourself, loving when it comes to a question of faith. And honest to God, this is what's keeping you from money. According to the astrology, you are never abundant, never wealthy, never more than you need because you don't have faith in yourself by default. Have faith by default, and you'll have money by default. And interestingly enough, someone asked me this question not too long ago. Yes, I've been talking about Pisces and money for a while now because you are meant to make money. The whole point is that those who are spiritual make the money, right? The universe wants you to be shown as making the money. And so, but you're not going to get out of the lessons necessary to learn how to. So it is time for you to go and prosper, my friend Pisces, and make as much money as you can, but it will never happen unless your heart has faith in yourself by default. I guess we'll be right back here. We'll get some funky stuff. We'll be right back here after a little commercial, and we'll come back and do some readings for you guys. Stay tuned. If you're watching us on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sirius Joy TV. Please click like on this video, and if you don't mind, hit the bell button so you're notified so we collectively defeat the algorithm overlords. The Sirius Joy Nonlinear TV network is simulcasting right now on many media affiliates, including Instagram, X.com, and Facebook, just to name a few.
Since 1995, Sea has infused every product with love. Our star is Sea Cream, made with kombucha tea, organic and wild-crafted herbs, and essential oils. Its fresh citrus scent appeals to both men and women. Age gracefully with our rehydrating facial serum. Made with organic sea buckthorn berry extract, giving your face a healthy glow. Your skin will love you. Scan the QR code on your screen now for 20% off with promo code LOL.
You started your business for freedom, but somewhere along the way, it turned into chaos. You're trying to fit your unique vision into someone else's blueprint, and it's leaving you feeling overwhelmed and second-guessing your every move. That's exactly why we created From Chaos to Clarity, your 12-week live business intensive. We give you the courage to claim your voice, the clarity to build your unique framework, and the conviction to lead your business your way. You'll get live power hours to hone your strategy and weekly accountability sprints to make sure the work actually gets done. Stop following, start building. You don't need to do it all alone. Clarity is closer than you think.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sirius Joy Alive, where it's great to be alive every day, 5 days a week from Sunday through Thursday, going alive at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And I was just reading my Sirius Joy text message here that says, we're taking that sky, starry and restless. Boy, that's true. I'm bouncing off the walls tonight. Congrats. The future is moving forward. Use your heart to steer the ship. You'll feel if you go off course. No shift. You will. See, that's what's helpful. Come to Sirius Joy, and this is what we do. We find your chart information. We send you messages that are specific to you and are timely, so you're never left behind at SiriusJoy.com. We have some great features coming out on the new mothership. We'll be talking about the mothership and what it offers. And one of the things it's going to be are these exclusive channels for every sign. That's right, exclusive channels for every sign. You know what? I'm just going to keep building it, whether they come or not. So that's the way I am. I can't stop. I just love it. I've got this vision. But yes, it's coming out. All kinds of great things are coming out. But we also are concerned about the future and being there for you on a deeper level. Sirius Joy is not just a message. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. And so we're going to be moving into helping you live that life and showing you instead of telling you how to do it. We're going to show you. We'll show you how. And you come down right now for just $3.99. Now, here's the kicker. The price of Sirius Joy is only going to go up, okay? Because we are starting to realize what we are worth. We are worth a lot more than what we charge, a lot more. And we're going to change the structure of things. So we'll make it affordable for everyone, but you won't get all the cool bells and whistles for certain prices. So I will say right now, sign up now, folks. Sign up now. That's all I can say. Sign up now. It's just $20 a month. That's $5 a week. Are you worth $5 a week? All right. How about this? Are you worth a reading? Purchase a reading right now at SiriusJoy.shop, and we will do it right now on the air. I've got a bunch of readings already stacked up. We might have some space left. I don't have the producer line right now, but we can get them on there right now today if you buy it today. Now, a little notice I got to tell you, we will be exiting a little sooner than later than at the end of the show. 1:45, we're going to be over at 5:45 Pacific, and that's because we have LOL tonight, Leading Out Loud with my buddy Scott Cruz. And that show is no longer public on Wednesdays, just so you all know. No longer public on Wednesdays. Our Sirius Joy subscribers, our clients, can watch the show be taped live because it will stream into our app. But we're not going to put it out in the general public until Saturday night when it's supposed to go and debut. We don't want to spoil the party. We want to spoil the fun. So if you're wondering where the heck is it, I just told you. It's going to be available to you, to the general public on Saturday nights, but not the tape dates anymore. Just moving things around. Using this new thing called Boundaries. It's really cool. So let's go with our first question, y'all, and see what we can do. Man, we've had all these 11s. I swear to God, we've had 11s, 12s, 24s. The step numbers have been so consistent in the last few days. So Karen's a step 11 Leo. I know some step 11s very well. Julie Day, I'll say hi to you. Thinking about you today right now with that. Also, the 12-degree Leo moon. That's cool. I'm a 21. You're a 12. We get along very well. I bet you, Karen. And a 24-degree Virgo rising. Wow. So a Virgo rising that's at the service of everyone. but very, very balanced and smooth about it. The question is, when would be the most advantageous time for me to retire in terms of finances? In terms of finances. So you want to know as far as money is concerned, like when will the money dry up, I guess is the kind of question, like when the best time would be. So having a Virgo rising means that you have Libra that's ruling the second house. And as you well know, Libra consciousness is really rebooting itself right now. And Aries consciousness is still healing itself. I would say I would wait at least until Chiron leaves Aries. Because you have to heal your ability to transform in the 8th house, which is opposing the 2nd house, which is money. And so I suspect that you need to really feel healed and transformed as far as all the boundaries in your life. You're still healing your boundaries about the future. And so because you're still healing your boundaries about the future, I question whether or not you are looking at your future retirement, everything very accurately. Okay. Because I think you're still kind of looking at your future based on, fight or flight issues and leaving. So interesting there. So with the Leo, let's see, Leo Sun, Leo Moon, Leo Sun, Virgo rising. Those two Leos, Virgo rising 24. So your Sun and your Moon are both in the 12th house. And that tells me that you are a subconsciously driven person. And so as far as the time for you to retire is concerned, it's not really that you're retiring, it's that you're going to move full time onto your spiritual mission. And so you might get a better answer if you ask your guides, hey, when does the spiritual mission begin? That's when I'll know I can retire. But I don't think a Virgo ever retires. A Virgo rising ever retires, by the way. It's got to stay active. It's got to stay busy. So you'll have a ton of chores around the house and tons of things to do because it's part of what you like is get your hands dirty and get your hands in the clay. So yeah, that's what I would say. So I would say after Chiron goes into Taurus would probably be the first open window, if you will. Yes, I'll stick by that. I hope that Sibit answered correctly. Let's move on to the next one. Sherry, 16-degree Aquarius Sun. Yay. I think we're not there yet. And a 12-degree Sagittarius ascendant. That's a Grandmaster Sag ascendant. So that means that you are a brilliant student that can learn anything. So remember that you can learn anything in a step 10 Capricorn moon. So that's awesome too, because it tells us that you can, your feelings manifest into things. So don't fester with stuff, by the way. That moon in Capricorn, do not fester, because if you fester on something, you will create a disaster by festering. The question goes as this. Question. Now that I have my trademark secured, what is the best time for me to launch my natural product business? My new natural product business, excuse me. It's a long day. Look at the similarities here with another 12 right there. 12 Sagittarius ascendant. Wow. Well, first of all, Sherry, you are a very intuitive person, being a step 16 at 7. You are basically an intuitive, very psychic when your heart is open. So if your heart's open, you'll know exactly what to do and when to do it. So you asking me tells me, at least for a minute today, your heart wasn't open. The minute you decided to buy this, your heart wasn't open because you didn't feel secure enough with your answer. So your heart was not open. Your intuition ought to tell you. If you're having a hard time opening your heart, it's because you have difficult or missing boundaries. So you need better boundaries to be able to open your heart more. But opening your heart more, you've got your trademark secured. Then at that point we're going, all right, we're looking for a signal, right? We're looking for what in that case. And I would say that because you have a Sag ascendant, all right, you are here to teach and learn stuff. And so if your natural product business has teaching and learning, I would say go forward immediately. Okay. If your product line just sells the things, I would say that the launch would probably happen when it's best advantageous for retail cycles. And so I would say, good old get ready for Christmas is what I'd say. I'd say Christmas would be the next best time. All right. Otherwise, if you are on top of your shift and you have at least 1 0 on a major planet, you might consider following the Grandmasters or following, for instance, our class where we talk about the 12 signs and over the Countdown 2026. You might go into that webinar and find out what we were talking about for this year, because you're probably going to want to launch based on what I call the way dates, and you probably want to choose a date that is the best and most advantageous. So it's probably going to be in late August, just to give you an idea. Probably late August would be the way to launch that, I would say. So don't worry, you don't have to rush. You're not going to miss the bus. So ask Spirit if there's anything else here, Capricorn. Okay, the step 10 Capricorn moon is giving me some ickiness when I tune into it. And I think, okay, yeah, it's because it's in the 12th house. So there's a lot of reserved emotion. There's just a lot of feelings that have to be still purged here. And I think ultimately to do that is just keep your heart open so they can flow out and recognize that even bad feelings have a certain value to you. In some cases, that bad feelings and bad memories have saved your life. So be looking at with more gratitude the attitude that you've been stuck in, because you're almost, you may go, what's all the holdup? It's you. You're always the holdup. People go, I don't know what the holdup is. I say, I do. It's always you. Always you. Always. God usually does the assignment within 30 seconds, of being asked. It's amazing. Okay, let's go to our next one. I think that's a good one. It feels like we're just doing the same person over and over again because now it's 11 Libra Sun with a 1 degree Libra Ascendant. It's like, oh my gosh. At 24, is that 24 again? Look at what we got a parade here. All right, so the Ascendant is a 1 degree Libra. So your mantra to yourself is, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. Your mantra is to love yourself and love yourself some more all the time, every day. In fact, one of the things you need to know is with that 11 Sun, you'll start cleaning stuff to avoid loving yourself. Just look for that. You say it's a loving thing to do to clean. No, it's really not a loving thing to do to clean. It's a loving thing to live in a clean environment. It's loving to enjoy your clean, but to actually be the one who cleans it. No, there's nothing. I don't think the heart really enjoys that whatsoever. So let's be careful about what we say to ourselves. But that said, the 1 Libra Ascendant means that self-love is super important. And then not only is self-love important, but the 11 says, let's do it again. And then the 24 Aquarius moon says, let's connect to humanity. So you're supposed to be this fortified powerhouse of self-love before you connect to anything. I just want to put that out there. All right. What's the question? I'm so overworked no matter what changes I make. How do I create more work-life balance? If I was an astrologer and psychic, I'd say you're talking to the wrong person. But I know I'll channel the answer and I'll have to follow it myself. So it's a boundary issue, of course. What Spirit's telling me is that you fail to hold space for yourself whenever you're engaging with another person. And so whenever you're talking to someone else or dealing with someone else, you're not thinking about yourself and what your limits are. You don't go into the day knowing your limits. You don't go into a meeting knowing your limits. You don't go into anywhere knowing that you have to say no at a certain time. There's one meeting that showed me you do know that one. But nonetheless, you're going in with no boundaries scheduled. And so because there's no boundary scheduled, yes, you can melt down. You can go too far. You can start off in total perfection, which is step 11. You can totally melt it down if you don't have boundaries. There's a time when you say stop, okay? And you just stop for now, but you stop. And don't worry, in that moment, someone else will speak up and be louder. So the universe will send someone else in to sing where you're singing. How do you create more work-life balance? Well, basically, for what you're being told in my heart is that your heart has got to sit there and be engaged in the moment in the most mundane levels. So do I love it? Do I love it not? If I love it not, gone. Okay. Add only loving things in your life. And then out of the loving things, rank them. Believe it or not. I love this one the most. I love this one the second most. And just follow your own ranks because it's all there. You just haven't downloaded is what Spirit's saying. Now the overwork part too is they're also telling me that you're doing too much in a single, you're biting up more than you can chew. So in other words, your boss might have said, hey, just give me the totals on this. And then you're voluntarily adding 10, 15, 20% more. Not impressing the boss either because they don't want to read more. Okay. They know what they want to read. So, show off when you get permission to show off, but don't put showing off into your daily life. It's not a very loving thing to do. You got to live a little normal life and be cool. All right. Scorpios. Let's see, drink here. We're not just, excuse me. I went went through a time warp there. I just went like, we're in the horoscopes. Carl. Carl is a step 6 Sagittarius sun. So Carl, you are here to be in a relationship to yourself, a philosophical relationship. You might be always asking, who am I? Step 16 Virgo ascendant. So you live in spirit and at service to others in the moment when your heart is open, if it can stay open. But I bet you can't stay open because you have a 6 degree Capricorn moon. So step six Capricorn moon means your emotions are always open. So you're pretty much built to be open. Look at those 6s. Some 6 stuff there. 6 Sag, 16 Virgo rising, and a 6 Capricorn moon. appropriate for the 6s. Now, here's the question. What planet do I belong on? This one. Is there anywhere else? Is there anywhere where everything isn't just all fake? No, there isn't one. There isn't one. I mean, I assume you're saying fake in the sense of people. First of all, this is fake. Everything is fake. This is fake. This is just, you may not know, but this is just molecules swinging around molecules. This is just all air, basically. Nothing is real in this reality whatsoever. It's all fake. So if you mean fake in the sense of like physical fake, every physical object is just space, really. And we've been faked on it. It's all fake. Now, if you're talking about fake as far as fake as in people, like being someone who they're not, oh no, there are other places that are also, being what they're not. But all of the mature alien races that I've heard about are very clear on, that they're in the right place at the right time. They are who they are, and they know what they're meant to do. So they're way more evolved when it comes to knowing their place in the universe. Let's put it that way. Is there anyone? Everything. So I guess that second question again, I'll answer again. Is there anywhere where everything isn't just all fake? And the answer is really no. There's not anywhere. It's all in our minds, all of it. So try to remember that you're faking it. That's why people end up doing these different things. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Try to remember. Una más, por favor. Maria. Wow, all these numbers. 18 Aries Sun, Grandmaster Aries for Maria. Person who gets things done. 22-degree Cancer Ascendant. That means you're a know-it-all when it comes to care. So you know everything you need to know when it comes to caring for others. Very insightful there. Probably help others a lot. And then from this perspective too, you have a 25-degree Virgo moon. And so this 25-degree Virgo moon means that you are always in touch with spirit when you are mindful of your feelings. If you're not mindful of your feelings, that moon is you being irritable all the time. So you're either going to be irritable or spiritual all the time, right? Some of the irritability comes from a past life where you were in the Catholic Church, I can see. So you've spent a lot of time in the church. And this is where you learned a lot of your ability to be useful and helpful to everyone. Just some reading stuff going out there for you. This has been the most tumultuous year of my life. Any indication of support from the stars on the way? Well, the stars have never stopped supporting you. Truth be told, an Aries will pull up their bootstraps, pull up their, what do you call it when you pull up the wagon and all that stuff? They'll pull up camp and move on, most of the time, rather than stick around and try to figure it out. A lot of times you give up very quickly. And it's because you have so much strength. It needs an outlet. I'm not saying you're not willing to fight. You are. I'm not saying it has to be a fight. It doesn't. But you tend to not like investing a lot of time in yourself legitimately. You'll invest in an activity that will decay things and take from you and spend money like it always does. But things that replenish, no, not so much. You kind of count on your sleep for that to happen. That's not enough, by the way. So Maria, at 18 degrees moon, you must first act as you want the stars to act. So if you want the stars to support you, then you have got to support yourself in the beginning from day one, every moment of the day. 18 is that you're committed to your heart's desire and you're going to act on your heart's desire. So if your heart's desire is to have, to be rewarded for today's work, you don't wait for the boss to reward you. You go reward yourself. Do it. Why do you need the boss to do it? In fact, the boss probably buy the wrong reward, something you don't like. Why don't you do it? And here's the thing. When you do it, then the next time it comes around, your boss will do it. So your boss will get pulled into that. So you have to be the first one, as you always do with Aries, to make it happen. Was there a second part of this? Nope. Okay. An indication of the stars. I will say, Aries, that, well, so hold off on that. We'll do a break. I will say, Aries, that in that last person, that is there any hope? Yes. You start behaving by treating yourself correctly, loving yourself in every response. After your birthday period, you are going to be in a phenomenal place. I think Aries will be in a phenomenal place right after their birthday period if they do the work. And the work is quite simply to love yourself first. Not be greedy for yourself or fight for yourself first, to love yourself first. Do the most loving thing you can think of for yourself first. You will excel in this ascension process. All right, folks, I just went into another channel and back. Let's take a little break. We come back. We're going to wrap up those readings and we'll say goodnight for the day. If you're watching us on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sirius Joy TV. Please click like on this video, and if you don't mind, hit the bell button so you're notified so we collectively defeat the algorithm overlords. The Sirius Joy Nonlinear TV network is simulcasting right now on many media affiliates, including Instagram, X.com, and Facebook, just to name a few. And we're back. It is Sirius Joy Alive.
Next is Cancer, and this is Frida Kahlo. I'm sure many of you know her for being an amazing painter, and she's also known for her chronic illness, right? She had a lifelong illness with physical injuries and chronic pain, and she had long periods of her life confined to her bed or her hospital. And so it's funny enough, again, that Cancer represents the home, represents the inner world, and represents our ability to nurture and soothe ourselves. So she used artistic production to take care of herself, even despite these severe limitations. Cancer governs care, protection, and self-preservation. And again, even through her chronic illness, she becomes a prominent painter because she almost needs to do it in that sense to keep herself alive. When external care was insufficient, she became her own source of nourishment. Painting functioned as an act of self-soothing and containment, and she didn't collapse because of the illness. She mothered herself through it. To me, that's, again, very Cancer oriented, being able to self-soothe, self-nurture, and really take care of herself despite these adversities.
All right. Hi guys, how you doing? We're Nat Choice today. We had that Daiki clip because we're showing you a little sneak peek of our self-study hall, which Robbie Hunt has moved on to her personal legacy. She is still with Sirius Joy. She does do shows with us at Mega Monthlies once a month. But now the self-study hall is divided amongst all of us teachers at Sirius Joy. One of the many features you get at SiriusJoy.com when you subscribe. And this is a class every month. We do one class every month. And it's nice to see Daiki in that light. He's doing so well. It's so amazing just how things unfold. I mean, I can remember Daiki's application actually when he applied for a job. And I'll just tell you this: I knew instantly when I saw that resume. I knew instantly he was going to be on a network. I just knew it. I just felt it. I never had seen him before. I just knew he was going to do that. And he's such a bright light, and he's brought so much to the step system, and everything. And it's nice to see our team growing bright. So that is available right now to watch. You can watch the entire lecture of Daiki and what he's talking about this month, simply by signing up for Sirius Joy, SiriusJoy.com. It's $3.99 for the first month. If you don't like it, just hit unsubscribe, and you are unsubscribed. It's so easy to unsubscribe. But I don't think they're going to be leaving because we have so many great things happening right now. The the Pep Talks in the morning have been amazing. I've kind of like made them more cinematic. We have this animation. We have a song picked out, this interwoven into it. Like, it is amazing. And that's how we start your day every day at Sirius Joy, not to mention all the other features and benefits that we have. We've been under construction now for about a year and a half. We've been rebuilding the site. And it's so hard to rebuild a site as you actually do content at the same time. It's like you're just working nonstop. But we are close to debuting the final episode or final version of our site, or not final version, but the latest. And Daiki is one of the features. You can check him out. And so is Study Hall, one of the amazing shows that we put out once a month. The last Wednesday of the month, we tape those. So it's pretty cool. All right, folks. Well, we've had a lot to discuss here. We have one more reading that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about a couple other things. But let's do the final reading first and see what the advice we can give and go from there. Well, I know why this is happening, too. I just realized this. All right. Jean, a 16-degree Virgo sun. All these 16s today, guys. You see this? You see this? This is what always happens with me. Whenever I do readings, like when I do a day of readings, which is rare now because I have so many other executive things to do, like on precedent, I will find like all 3 readings will have a 16-degree sun, or all 3 readings will have like a 21-degree ascendant. It's like it just piles up like this. It's really interesting. So Gene, 16-degree Virgo, that is a master Virgo because you have Pisces element in the Virgo sign. 21-degree Scorpio ascendant, that's cool. You're fun to be around. Seriously. That's not me being sharp. And a 22-degree Taurus moon. Ooh, that's like that's a wizard's wand there, that moon. That's a wizard's wand. You know, I think a 22-degree moon in Taurus is pretty powerful because normally the moon is very, very like, quick to respond. But Tauruses are so slow that I think you slow down that moon energy and you're really able to craft it and sculpt it into something that you want. Kind of cool. Love you, Christopher. Aw, that's so sweet, Gene. I appreciate that. But it's no fun getting old. I know. It's not, is it? Will you lend me some faith that everything is okay in the big picture for us all? Oh, Gene, you're worrying too much. You know what? This is a test. You're being tested. This is not real. I mean, first of all, I think we're in heaven asleep right now, and this is a dream. I don't even think this is real. I really don't. But you don't have to follow my beliefs on that. You're a Virgo. It seems very real to you. I get it. And I understand that. But, if your heart was open, 16, if your heart was open right now, you would not have asked that question. Because your heart would tell you everything is fine and always will be. There is only joy. There is nothing else in the universe but joy. These worlds of cold, planets and warfare and starvation and all this stuff, it's all a video game that we play when we're in heaven. It's not real. The only thing that's real is joy, and you have become a little too convinced of the ride. So, and as a daily exercise, Gene, I think you have to open your heart up every day. You got to open your heart up, and you got to protect it and keep it open. It's got to stay open for business. Now, everyone has a practice of what makes their heart open. Cute furry animals, babies, there's a lot of ways of tricking the heart into open, making it, putting it into a place that's undeniable. I mean, you're putting yourself as undeniable, I just love this person or I love this thing. Your heart just takes over and it blooms. And that's part of what the issue is here is you have to start the day with an open heart. Now, as far as getting old is concerned, you know what? I've been getting a lot of information. I think I shared this already and I'll share it again because I think it's interesting. I keep getting, recently in my downloads that life will be extended in this lifetime. So if anyone who's alive right now, within reason, who doesn't have any kind of already planned disease exit or something like that, from what I understand, we have the ability to extend our lifetime. So I don't even think we have to worry about dying at all. Not for a while. I don't feel like we do. No, yeah, it'll be a little messy. They're showing me like some don't go as pleased as they want. But at the end of the day, we're starting to mess with medicine now. And we're starting to realize that we're programmed to die, we're programmed to age, and we can deprogram that. And that's an area where I do think that that's, to me, a removal of if someone came along and messed with the United States, the human's DNA, then I don't think it's tampering with our DNA to put it back to where it was. Okay, I don't think it's tampering at all. I think it's great. However, if we were to tamper with our DNA now and make ourselves be superheroes, I think that would be a problem. We're not meant to do that. So, there's not a black and white answer about DNA changes, but it's no fun getting old, but don't worry. I feel like it could all reverse is what I'm saying. I feel like it could. Does your heart say it could? My heart says it can. So, and then some faith that everything's going to be okay in the big picture. You guys, you cannot ask, if you want to know if everything's going to be okay, you have to ask your heart. You cannot ask CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS. You cannot ask anything going on in the world right now, broadcasting. Everything broadcasting information has a dark agenda to make you worry and make you buy products. That's all they care about. They really don't care about us. It's unfortunate, but they don't. They clearly don't care about us. And so I don't think we should get hurt by that. I don't think we should get angry about that. I think we should just quietly take control. It's our planet. We can do what we want. We don't have to turn on that news. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to do any of that stuff. Just stop. Stop giving your power away. Stop letting them have it. You're not going to live without. Yeah, well, yes. You stop watching the media and stuff like that. You're going to live without anxiousness, worry, diarrhea. You're going to live without a lot of those things. But ultimately, right now, I was saying this, I don't know if I said it yesterday. I'm starting to get like these circles of like, I can't remember when I said things. I can't remember if I thought it, I said it, or said it on the air. And because I'm on the air so much now, I don't know if I said it already, but every mystic I talk to, who's a friend of mine, None of us feel a dark future at all. None of us feel a dark future at all. Not at all. In fact, I was kind of wigged out. I thought I lost my powers. I was like, I don't feel anything looming on the horizon anymore. And, I was confused. I thought, well, I know I'm not healed because I have my own damage still. So can't be that. And I just searched for a while. And then I started asking other practitioners that unite the light, things like that, when you bring us each other together and we talk about stuff. And they're all like, no, they don't feel it either. So the world's greatest psychics that I know do not feel that the world's going down, that this is going to go dark, or this is going to do poorly. And I know there's a lot of stuff, heavy stuff going on right now. We'll talk about this on LOL, which, by the way, is going to be live this Saturday night. But, except unless you're a Sirius Joy subscriber, you can come to live theater and watch a big tape right now, after this. But Scott and I don't see a dark future at all. And we're a little annoyed by it because we're not quite sure. It's like, to some degree, if anything, it's like I may be out of business, right? But I don't think so. I think that people will need to heal and learn for the rest of their lives. But we all unanimously say we just don't feel anything dark. We don't feel anything really harsh. There will be pockets of harsh and pockets of hardship. But those are souls that are young souls that haven't gone through, the Civil War, who weren't around for the great, World War I. You all have to go through those dark lessons on Earth, and you can't get out of them. So the people who are being exposed to the darkness now, it's not that they are getting needlessly beaten. It's that they're following their program, their lesson curriculum. That's what they're going to take. Murder 101, basically, crazy dictator 102. These are things we all have experienced in past lives. And so for those who have not, you may get these last rides now to complete your stuff. So I don't feel like there's anything new evil or darkness on the planet at all whatsoever. The problem is that we're just all stuck in the old habits, and we're stuck in the old patterns, and those patterns start with us. They start with the way we treat ourselves. So I hope that helps and answers your question, y'all. All right, super sticker. Ooh, wow, interesting. Oh, their hands. Oh, I guess it's an actual sticker that you can buy. Cool. Thank you for that super sticker, y'all. Danielle Hall. Thank you. Folks, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. In fact, the only thing that went wrong was that we allowed ourselves to believe it wouldn't be okay. That's where we messed up. We allowed ourselves to believe it might not be okay. We allow ourselves to listen to someone else's definition of us. We allowed ourselves to let someone else define who we are. We allowed ourselves to have someone else tell us what to do. I don't know if it's because we were lazy, I don't know if it's because we were slaves, because we were with the Anunnaki. We were all slaves. But somewhere along the line, we let other people tell us who we are. I would say shame on us, but no, I don't think we should shame ourselves. We were just naive. We didn't know better. Big deal. But we don't have anything to be afraid of. We have nothing to be afraid of. Really, everything that has been happening to us has been a big old smoke and mirrors trick to make us afraid. Because everyone, including the bad guys, know it's going to be a happy ending no matter what. It's going to be a happy ending. There is no other script alternative that God has offered. And why is that, you may ask? Because we came from God and we shall return to God. And so it is. We'll be fine. But I know you need reminding, so I'll be here every day of the week. Here at this same time, we go live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, Sunday through Thursday, on every platform that Sirius Joy streams to, simultaneously, in what we call a nonlinear television network. I've got to go get ready now to tape LOL, Leading Out Loud with Scott, and I will see you tomorrow at that bad time and that bad channel. Until then, I love you, friends. Live, love, be. If you're watching us on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sirius Joy TV. Please click like on this video, and if you don't mind, hit the bell button so you're notified, so we collectively defeat the algorithm overlords. The Sirius Joy Nonlinear TV Network is simulcasting right now on many media affiliates, including Instagram, X.com,